So now we want to look at the substitution method. And this method is used mostly for the case where you have one linear equations and the other non-linear. If you look at the two equations there, you see that the equation 1 at the top there, the y square, is a non-linear, and the one below can be written in the form y equal mx plus c, so we consider that to be a linear equation. So, how do we go about solving these type of equations? Certainly, elimination method would not work in this case, and therefore it's best solved by transposing for one of the variables and substitute it into the other equation. Now, if you will notice that for the second equation, it's already transposed, x equal to 5 minus 3y. So we just need to substitute it. So substitute x equal to 5 minus 3y into, let me just put EQ1, abbreviating equation 1. Right, here's equation 1, y squared plus 2y plus 11 is equal to x. That's equation 1. But if you will notice that we know that x is equal to 5 minus 3y. And therefore we can replace the x variable there with 5 minus 3y. And then what we have is a quadratic. So we group like terms. So we have y squared plus 2y. Let's group the y terms here. Bring over this, it becomes plus 5y plus 3y, negative 3, no positive 3. And grouping the constant, I have positive 11 over here. Group with the 5, it's minus 5. And then, so we bring over the 5 minus 3y. Let me just separate this, just to not make it too confusing. So, we add what we group, so we have y squared and 2y plus 3y, that's what, 5y. And 11 minus 5, that's positive 6. And remember, check my videos. I did a detailed presentation on how we factorize these types of quadratic expressions, right? So, break up the 5y. What two numbers can add to give 5 and multiply to give 6? 3 and 2. So 5y can be rewritten as 3y plus 2y. So we have 4 terms, so we factorize by grouping. So for the first pair, for the first group, common factor there is 5. In the bracket we'll have y plus 3. And for the second pair, common factor there is 2. And also I did a detail on video on how we factorize these type of expressions. So check out my videos. Like and subscribe. Alright, so 2y plus 3, sorry. Alright, remember when you expand the bracket, you must get 2y plus 6, so 2 times y, 2y, 2 times 3, 6. And here, y times y, that's y squared. And y times 3, y times 3, that's 3y. So here we have a common bracket, a common factor, which is y plus 3. Alright, so we factor out y plus 3, we are left with y plus 2. So we equate both brackets to 0 and solve. So equate that to 0, we have y plus 3 is equal to 0. Or we have y plus 2 is equal to 0. And then from here, y equal to minus 3. And from here, y equal to minus 2. Alright, so we have two y values. So now we need to find the x values. Okay, now so to get the values of x, we substitute each of the y values into any one of the equations, one of these two equations. It doesn't really matter which equation. Alright, any one of these two. Now let me use equation 2, since that seems to be the simpler after that. So substitute y equal to minus 3 into equation 2. So this is equation 2, x equal to 5 minus 3y. But we're replacing the y with minus 3. So minus 3y become minus 3 times minus 3. And what's minus 3 times minus 3? Positive 6. Positive 9, sorry. So x is 14. Alright, we sub the other x value. So substitute y equal to minus 2 into the same equation. You could use equation 1, it doesn't matter, the result will be the same. And equation 2 again is x equal to 5 minus 3y. And we are using the y value now to be minus 2, so replace the y with minus 2. So therefore 5 minus 3 times minus 2, that's positive 6. So 5 plus 6, that's 11. And what these values represent really, if you should sketch the graph of x equal to 5 minus 3y and sketch the graph of y squared plus 2y plus 11 equal to x, these graphs will intersect. These graphs will intersect. Let me just put it at the top right hand corner there. These graphs will intersect. So we're saying when the x value, when the y value is minus 3, the x value is 14. So 14 correspond with the y is negative 3. And when the y value is minus 2, the x value is 11. So x11 for x corresponds with minus 2 for y. And therefore, if you should do a sketch of these two graphs, what will happen is that these graphs will intersect at the point 14 minus 3 and 11 minus 2.